Hi there, my name is Ewan Nicholson. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Remembering Love. If you're new to this channel, this is a channel where we explore subjects of healing childhood trauma, healing C-PTSD, and all the various things in between. If you like that kind of content, you can click on the like and subscribe button, and I'll keep you up to date with the stuff I put out pretty much on a weekly basis. If you're not new to this channel, thank you very much for coming back. Now, the title and subject of today's video is Beware Your Mind is for Sale, Navigating Healing Childhood Trauma in the Attention Economy. So you may be wondering, what is big tech's selling of our data and our personal likes and dislikes online have anything to do with healing childhood trauma? And that's what I'd like to sort of elucidate or go into in this video. So one of the things to be aware of when it comes to healing childhood trauma, there's a number of questions that we end up having to kind of answer in this channel, in books, in whatever it is. And they're questions to do with, what is childhood trauma? Like, what is it made up of? How is it created? How do we heal it? What do we do? So there's what is it? There's how do we do it? And then there's a question of why does it come about? Like, why do we feel the way we feel? Like, why does this affect that? But one of the things that I think can be easily overlooked is the question of where. So we have what, how, why, when, who. But the question of where, like, where does this healing process occur? Like, what is the cultural, social milieu of the place we're living in that all this process occurs? Because it doesn't occur in a vacuum. We live in social and cultural contexts that our healing occurs within. And that social and cultural context gives us our language, it gives our frame of reference, it gives us the tools to work on these things, to engage with each other. And there is no question the world we live in now, the culture that we occur and try heal childhood trauma in, is a culture immersed and interface with an enormous amount of technology. And that technology is not benign. It's not just this neutral thing where a little bit like a car where we use it for this, you can use it for a bank robbery, or you can use it to drop your kids off at school. It's just this piece of machinery that is just functional. Technology in the way we engage with it now is not benign. It has things built into it that are designed to direct us and guide us to outcomes that may or may not be in our best interest. And that's what I'd really like to talk about today, is the nature of our engagement with technology. The fact that you are here on this YouTube channel listening to a video about healing childhood trauma. I'm filming it on a bit of technology, you're watching it on technology, and the price of engaging with this video does come at a price. And I'd like to look at what that price is and how we can be assured that in the process of engaging with technology, interfacing technology, we can minimize the harm that comes with it. And that's what I'd really like to look at and why that's really important. So this is where we find ourselves. We find ourselves in a world now where our telephones and our pieces of technology feel like, to some degree, they're extensions of ourselves. And this is what Elon Musk is talking about, the neural net, this technology that interfaces with the brain, because as far as he's concerned, the phone already is an extension of who we are. It's just one step removed from being inside our minds. And this is where we are. This is where it's going. Our telephones now are our televisions, there are email devices, there are video players, our cameras, there are maps, there are reminders, there are community, there are tools for messaging and the messaging themselves. And I could go on and on and on and on about all the technology that's collapsed in this one piece of machinery. And it's now becoming more and more a part of our lives which we can't separate from having to kind of look at the menu in a restaurant on the Q code to various other kind of ways. COVID passports, there's going to be all sorts of things coming in that will be interlinked and interface with technology. So to some degree, we're in this whether we like it or not. Unless you want to go live on a mountaintop or you want to completely be off grid, we're forced by the nature of the way our society is set up commercially and socially to engage with this piece of technology. And I think it's really important to say, well, what has that got to do with healing childhood trauma? And because we have this, because we are now, from a social point of view and engaging with other people's point of view, wed to this technology. The question is, what is this technology doing and what is the price of that? And the title of this video is Beware Your Mind is for Sale. And this is something that I think we have to be very clear about, that we're engaging with YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and all these forms of social media. We are the product. You know, Mark Zuckerberg said that when asked, like, how does Facebook make its money, he said, oh, it's advertising. But it's not really advertising, it's selling us, like our minds, our preferences, our thoughts, our online behavior on and off Facebook, because Facebook collects data from the stuff we do off Facebook. Our online behavior, our thoughts, preferences, likes and dislikes is accumulated and then repackaged and resold. We are the product for sale. In the attention economy, there is a war going on for our attention. And we are the prize, our attention, our mind, where we direct our mind, where we give our time and energy to from a focus point of view. That if the average person is now spending 9 hours on a device, the war is how do I get that 9 hours spent in my device, in my social media business? How do I steal that attention away from here and put it to here? The CEO of Netflix said their biggest competitor was sleep. I mean, you've got to really grasp that they feel sleep, human sleep, is impinging on their market. They want to extract people's sleep and bring it over to Netflix. And this is where we're at. It's like sleep is taking away time. Time is what they're buying. And this is the bit that this is the world we live in. So when we go to engage with any activity online, we are in a marketplace that is competing for our attention. And our attention is our time, energy, and focus, what we give it to. And I'd like to use this platform as an example of that. So here you are on YouTube watching a video connected to healing childhood trauma. Now YouTube, it is an amazing service on a lot of levels, because what it's become is millions or hundreds of thousands of unique TV channels, niche TV channels. That's the way I say amateur TV channels, some less amateur, some more. Now 30, 40 years ago, I'm part of the generation that was pre-internet and post-internet, pre-YouTube, post-YouTube. When I grew up in country Australia, there were 2 to 4 TV channels, and you watched on TV whatever was available, and then you would go to Blockbuster or the video store and watch a movie, but you were very limited in the kind of the niche areas of your interest. If you wanted to look at healing childhood trauma, you would have to go to the library and find books, and maybe the library didn't have up-to-date books. So your ability to get information that related to specifically what you wanted to know was very, very limited. Now you can look up LBTQ reviews of movies. You can have every niche, every interest you have, there is someone probably doing content on it. Some of it amazing stuff. And what happens is we, through our subscriptions, through coming onto the channel, the algorithm of YouTube works out very quickly what we like and what we don't like, and what we spend a lot of time watching, what we spend very little time watching, what we click on, how long we click on it. And it collates all that data, so when you come to your home screen, it presents you with various options that match that data. We all have that experience. We watch a video on one thing, and next thing you know, we see other similar related videos appearing. So what happens is you come onto YouTube, you're making a Faustian pack. So maybe if you're a subscriber, you saw that I put this video out, it comes up in your email, or it comes up in your notifications when you go onto YouTube. You click on it, you see that, Remembering Love's put out this video. You think, I'd like to watch that. And the moment you click on that, you'll see my video, but you'll also see the suggested videos. And what YouTube is doing is saying, please watch this thing that you're interested in. But in order to watch it, you have to pay a price for that. And the price is, we're going to try to draw you into other videos. We're going to try to bring you into this video. If you watched a Karen's in the Wild or a cooking video, whatever it may be, we're going to present a perfect combination of videos and content that will keep you on this site as long as possible. So here you originally come in maybe just to watch this video because you're interested in healing childhood trauma, and then you watch a video on cooking, and we all have had that experience of being sucked in this time vacuum on YouTube. And what is the net effect of that when it comes to healing our childhood trauma? Well, it's about taking our attention away. Obviously, I'm very clear, I'm doing the same. I'm doing it on the basis that it's here to help, it's meant to support you. But if you're a YouTube creator, what you become very aware of is for my videos to be seen, for the YouTube algorithm to present my videos, two things have to happen. They have to be on topics that are relevant that people are searching for, or three things. People have to click on my thumbnail, and then I have to be able to keep and hold your attention for as long as possible. They have percentage, they have all sorts of data on the back end to try help me capture your attention as long as possible, because in their mind, the longer you're on here, the more they can present ads, and the more they can present you with other videos which to present ads. And if you want to be successful on YouTube, these are the two things you need to do. You need to get people to click, and you need to get people to keep watching. And that's the bargain. That's the deal that you make with YouTube. I'll come on and watch these videos for free, but in return you get to bombard me and try to suck as much attention away as possible. And in the process of doing that, we're giving them information about what we like and what we don't like. That's what's being sold. Our minds are for sale. And the process of watching all the videos we watch over years on YouTube, whether it's from, we maybe have multiple YouTube accounts, it's all collecting data about what we like and what we don't like, and that's being resold and repackaged to advertisers, and it's trying to draw us into purchases and activities that is really about the profit of large companies, not really about what's in your best interest to heal childhood trauma. So the end result of this is, in my experience, and this is a work in progress because it is really, really difficult, is I would advise you have to set up very deliberate and very conscious rules and protocols for engaging with technology. Because if we don't have clear parameters of what we are going to do and what we're not going to do and how we're going to engage and not going to engage, we will have time and attention sucked away from us in things that are maybe a little bit helpful, maybe destructive, maybe benign, facile, whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. They don't care what you're watching. They don't care what you're engaging on Facebook, as long as you're engaging, as long as your attention is captivated and is theirs, because they can take the data and then resell it, and it just gets caught in this loop after loop after loop. And as a trauma survivor, as someone who's working on trying to heal and transform their trauma, I have to be very vigilant and deliberate about where I give my attention. And is what I'm giving my attention to increasing my serenity? Is it increasing my insight? Or am I just wasting my time? Instead of watching a silly video on YouTube about Karens in the wild, could I be there playing Cluedo with my kids? Could I be outside in the sun? Could I be having a conversation with a wife? Could I be doing 100 other more productive things? And this is the bit that what I'm making this video. I think we have to be really clear and really conscious about how we engage with technology. And if we're not deliberate about it, we're up against billion-dollar AI algorithms that are designed with a single purpose of capturing and holding our attention. And if we don't consciously decide no, we don't consciously decide I'm not going to do this, but I will do that, then it's going to suck us in. And it is not good for healing our trauma, because it's sucking us in to run ads to make us feel like there are these other things that we need out there. That's just the nature of advertising. And on one level, none of this is new, but it's more pernicious and more dangerous and more Machiavellian, because what it's doing now is it's tailoring those ads, it's shaping that content according to unique behaviors on us. That's where our mind is for sale. 40 years ago, you passed a billboard on the freeway that had Coca-Cola, and it had to be kind of generic, a generic happy male, a generic happy female, because that's to appeal as many people as possible. But imagine now there's new billboards and they detect who you are coming, and whoever's presented on that Coca-Cola billboard is specifically tailored to your needs, sexual, emotional, and cultural preferences. So every ad, every engagement you see that's trying to persuade you into doing something, buying something, taking an action to fix a problem maybe you don't even have, is now tailored and narrowed in so specifically to you and your preferences, because we're giving all this data away every time we're online doing these things. They're collecting all that information and profile of who we are and selling it back to advertisers. And that's the bit that what they're selling us is solutions outside of ourselves. In the end of the day, this is the nature of commerce, it's the nature of capitalism. We have to take products and services and make people feel they need them, whether they do or whether they don't. Because let's be really clear, what do we need to be happy? We need good relationships, we need food, clothing, shelter, we need love and connection. That's kind of it. Everything else is just a load of rubbish, really, to keep the economy going. So what's really essential here when it comes to engaging with technology, engaging with this channel, is it does not have your best interests at heart. Healing trauma is not that you may be able to access that information, you may be able to get inside, but it's a forced impact. You are paying something for it. To come and watch this video, you have to push all the videos aside and say, I'm just going to watch this one video, and that's it. Then I'm hopping off. And it's designed to make sure you don't do that. So the first thing is to be aware that we are in this kind of battle. We are in this awareness, just like when you go to a supermarket and they put the milk down one end and the bread on the other, because they're aware that the time it takes you, the 2 minutes to walk from one side of the supermarket to the other, you will grab other things. Then you go to the checkout and there's all the sweets and the lollies. It's a persuasion funnel it puts you through. And every time we go online, we're exposed to the same kind of manipulation with the same end goal. It is not benign. It is about capturing our attention and selling our attention back to advertisers. And when we're in this healing childhood journey, this journey of healing childhood trauma, our time is critical. The usefulness of our time. And I'm not talking about, we shouldn't, veg out and watch something silly on YouTube, but it's not quite like that. It's not like, home videos funny home videos on Sunday night, a candid camera when I was a kid, where you switch it on for half an hour. It's way more dangerous than that, and way more insidious and cunning and thought through. So what we do with our time and our attention is our lives. And do we want to spend our lives sucked into a platform that doesn't have our best interests? I don't think so. I don't think it's good for healing. I don't think it's good for humanity. I don't think it's good for an individual. So if we don't want to do that, then we have to be very clear we don't want to do that. We have to be very deliberate about the fact we don't want to do that. And with that, at least we know what we're up against. We're not playing games with ourselves. We're not in some delusion that I'm just going to YouTube to do this. 5 hours later, I've done that. I'm just going to Facebook to check this. 6 hours later, I've done that. And variations of the same thing. So look, I hope this has helped. Hope this has made sense. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. But if you haven't enjoyed it, don't like and subscribe. And I'm walking a razor's edge doing these videos because I want to put information out there to help people heal childhood trauma. But I'm also aware that by putting these videos out there, I'm participating in the very same thing I'm criticizing. And I don't know if it's a paradox or a contradiction, but I'm trying to walk that line here. So I'm aware of the kind of, how would I put it, as I make this video, maybe the video itself is a contradiction of the thing that I'm saying, but can we do both? Can we engage in really good content, get really good resources from what this technology presents, but do it in a way that is more deliberate? Well, I think that's the ideal, and at least that's what I'm trying to present and help you with. So look, thank you for watching this video. Please take care, look after yourself, and bye-bye.